Hey, what's going on, everyone? This video we're looking at the Blue Emu 500 NASCAR picks for tonight. Starting at 7 p.m., we have 500 laps for this race. So let's get right into it for the breakdown for Draftkings. Also, we'll touch on Fanduel. Before we get into it, appreciate it if you hit the like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. If you don't know where to start with your NASCAR research, the most important thing I like to look at is how these drivers have done at this track. And at Martinsville, as you can see, there are certain drivers that just stand out from the rest. Martin Truex Jr. in his last 4 races, average finish of 4th. He has 3 top 5s, all 4 top 10s. Of course, he's going to have all 4 top 20s. And his average start was 11.3. He has the highest driver rating at this track at 115.4. On DraftKings, Martin Truex comes in at just 10.3 as your 6th most expensive driver. He's going to be the first guy that I like a lot. He's starting 5th. Basically a lock for a top 10 here. Can get you a win as well. And as you can see, he has led 486 laps in this race. At this track, the last 4 races. So Truex looking like a tremendous play. Right behind him, you have Brad Keselowski, average finish of 4.75. He also has all 4 top 10s. Right behind him in driver rating. He also dominates this track, and he's sitting at just 9,500 on DraftKings, 1 spot right behind Truex, starting 6th. This track, you're going to need guys that can lead a lot of laps, and Brad Keselowski has also shown that, 488 laps led. Out of the last 4 races, that is well over 100 per race. So Keselowski, looking like a tremendous play. He's too cheap at 9,500. He's at least $1,000 too cheap. And then Kyle Busch at 10.7. I think he should be one of the most expensive drivers. He's also crushed at this track. 5.75. He has 3 top 5s. He has a very high driver rating. He's looking great. Denny Hamlin looks good as well. He's a little bit more expensive than the other guys, but at the top, if I'm paying up, it's for Truex, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and I would probably rank it in that order, and then Harvick, Logano. And I think those are the guys you're going to want to pay up for. And then in the mid-range, you have Ryan Blaney as a tremendous value starting first. You're going to need guys that can lead a lot of laps, and Blaney also has done very well at this track. So you're going to need 4 guys, I think 3 or 4 guys at least, that can lead a large portion of the race. And Blaney, so far, he has led 145 laps at this track the last 4 races. Average finish of 8th, 3 top 5s. He looks good as well. So definitely like these 4 as a starting point on DraftKings. And then I'll just go with 2 value plays. 2 value plays below 6,000. You have Ty Dillon at 6,200. He looks great if you put him in. You have 4,900 left. Other options down here don't look that appealing. Maybe you want to go a little bit cheaper. Instead of Ty Dillon, you have Cole Custer. You have Michael McDowell, 5,100. There's plenty of ways to go. So I definitely feel like you're going to need to spend up. I'm going with definitely not touching a ton of mid-range plays. I want to get up to guys that can, get out in front and lead some laps. So these 4, I love their prices. You're not breaking the bank for a Jimmy Johnson. If you play like a Hamlin or Elliott or even a Harvick, you're probably not going to be able to play all 4 of these guys. You're going to have to probably cut one and go with 3 expensive guys. But I like the ability to go with 4 expensive guys and then go with a couple value plays like a Ty Dillon. I think is still in play. Eric Jones at 6,500 looks fine. Cole Custer, Corey LaJoie, 5,800. So there's decent value. You also have Priest, 57, and you have Michael McDowell. So those are the DraftKings plays I like for tonight, and then we'll go on over to FanDuel. On FanDuel, they have Kyle Busch as your most expensive driver at 14.5, followed by Truex. I think they did a better job of knowing which drivers have been better at this track, and Keselowski's 3rd, so FanDuel has priced them up pretty appropriately, but those are still some of my favorites. I think Denny Hamlin coming in at just 12,000 is probably the guy that I would kind of start with on FanDuel maybe. He's starting 12th. He's also done extremely well at this track. He's average finish 5.75, 3 top 5s, 113 driver rating, also has led a large portion of the laps here. So definitely Denny Hamlin. As you see, one guy that hasn't led a lot of laps is Kevin Harvick. He has led no laps, which is kind of odd. But some guys just do better at certain tracks. So he's probably like the guy that I don't feel great about paying up for. He is expensive on both sites, especially on Draftkings. On Fanduel, I like Denny Hamlin. And then I like Blaney. He's pretty expensive, but he looks fine at 11.5. Jimmy Johnson coming in at 10.2. That's going to be the price point and the player that a lot of people are wondering if they should play. He's very cheap on DraftKings. You just fade him at that price point. But FanDuel, he's very cheap, but the problem is that he has not done very well at this track. He has an average finish of 22.25, a 70.5 driver rating. This is one of his worst tracks, I'd say. As you see, it's not even Martinsville's 19th for him. He has, in his last 4 races here, he has 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s, and just 2 top 20s. Average start of 21, so it's not like he's even getting a ton of place differential upside. If he's going to get a lot of ownership, I don't mind not going with him just because he has not done very well at this track, recently at least. But definitely Denny Hamlin, I like him, and then I'd probably go up for like a Truex and a Kyle Busch. I go with Kyle Busch at 14.5. Leaves you with 7,800. I think on FanDuel you're probably gonna need like one value play if you're gonna pay up like I will. And on FanDuel there is decent value that I like. In this below $10,000, you have Matt DiBenedetto at 8,000, looks fine. Christopher Bell at just 7,000, definitely gonna be in the player pool. Cole Custer is gonna be in the player pool. Ty Dillon at 5,000 looks very, very solid. Starting 30th. And then you have Daniel Suarez down at 3,500. I really don't like playing Daniel Suarez because he has a pretty bad car, but this is one of his better tracks. On DraftKings, you just fade him at that price point. He's way too expensive on DraftKings, but FanDuel at 3,500, starting 37th. I think there's enough place differential upside. Even if he finishes like 20 in the 20s, you're gonna get a decent score on him on FanDuel. And as you see, he's actually done decent at this track. He was in a different car though, but he has 2 top 10s in the last 4 races, 3 top 20s. He has better ratings than Ty Dillon, Almirola, Priest, Byron, Jimmy Johnson. So take it for what it's worth. But I think Suarez, at least on FanDuel, can be a nice value and allow you to pay up for Kyle Busch and Hamlin's and Truex's of the world. So that's the breakdown for this race tonight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and good luck tonight.